My life was primarily shaped by two very important women in my life, the matriarchs, my grandmother and my mother. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about them and then try to portray them as best I can so you get a sense of what these two women were like. Starting with Grandma, she was born Simka Lipovetsky, and she was born in a village called Kashavatoye in what was then Russia, but has become Ukraine. She spoke three languages as a child. Yiddish was the family language, and Russian was mandatory, and Ukrainian because she lived in Ukraine. There were Ukrainians all around. She became very fluent in English when she came to this country, and she made it her life mission, really, to learn English as fluently as she could. By the time I came around, she had a massive vocabulary that would put any native English speaker to shame. But there were a few little words that she'd get mixed up, and they tripped her up to her dying days. Little words that were similar, kind of like you'll see in this next story.
Oh, Janie, your sister is going to the mall today. Are you going to get your eyes pierced too?
Wait, did you just say eyes pierced?
Yes.
Oh my God, Grandma, it's ears, not eyes.
Eyes, yes, they're all the same. You knew what I meant.
Oh my God, eyes pierced. That is so funny. I can't wait to tell my friends.
Don't be fresh.
Grandma had a way of doing life by not so subtly making suggestions about, my grooming, my lack of femininity, how to make me a presentable wife, even while telling bedtime stories.
Once upon a time, there was a beautiful princess, but there was one problem. She fell in love with a bear.
That's not the way you told it last time, Grandma.
Don't be fresh. I'll tell the story any way I want to tell it. And every night, the beautiful princess brushed her hair 100 times. Every single...
100 times? That would hurt.
It was a soft bristle brush. It didn't hurt. So she brushed her hair 100 times every night, in the hopes of meeting a beautiful, handsome prince. Maybe if you brushed your hair 100 times each night, maybe even 5, we should be so lucky, every night. Would you like me to buy you a soft bristle brush? Maybe someday you could meet a nice man.
So that was Grandma in a nutshell, of course. But I have to say, The Princess and the Bear, to this day, remains my favorite fairy tale of all time. I think it was kind of a Russianized version of the Beauty and the Beast, but there was something about the way my grandmother told me that story without using a book and making it up off the top of her head each time with her massive vocabulary involved, and it was fascinating. You just clung to every word. So anyway, then there was Mom. Evelyn Langs is how she was born, Jersey City, New Jersey, and she became Evelyn Pearman when she married my father, a nice Christian man from Tennessee. Like Grandma, Mom experienced a lot of prejudice in her life, but I think it only stood to make her more fierce in life. It wasn't until she got older, really, that she became sometimes kind of, how do I put it politely, unintentionally funny.
Oh, I can't get this remote to work. And Jeopardy's coming on and the phone is ringing. I don't know where my phone is. Oh, shit.
Hello?
Hello? Jenny? Hello? Oh, I was just trying to call you, but I can't find my phone.
Well, you're talking on it, Mom.
Oh, oh, that's nice. I don't know where it is. I was gonna call you, but I can't get I can't get my remote to work. I'm pressing all the buttons.
Mom, are you pressing buttons on what you think is the remote right
I'm
now?
pressing them all right now, and nothing is happening.
I
Jeopardy
think you're
is
trying to turn on the TV with your phone, Mom.
what? With my phone? Oh, it's an iPhone. Ah, I found my phone. Hello? But where's the remote?
Yeah, she was a character. Lovable, absolutely lovable, but a character. And sometimes it was hard to bring Mom to a public place.
Mrs. Williams, doctor will see you now.
Oh, it's somebody else. That's not me. Oh, I meant to tell you, Jenny, it's very important, but I'm having some vaginal dryness.
Mom, we're in a waiting room.
What, you think I'm so old I don't know where I am?
Okay, just maybe keep your voice down, you know?
They don't care. I'm having some vaginal dryness. Did you hear me?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to everybody here about my mom. Mom, could we talk about anything else?
All right. We'll talk about something else. But what do they care? They're all my age. And what are you looking at? Don't tell me you've never had a dry vagina.
And like Grandma, Mom had a compelling way of telling a story. She managed to really draw people in, even if it was a little offbeat or quirky. It's sort of like this story. It was one of her favorites.
When I was a little girl, we must have moved 20 times while I was in elementary school. 20 times. Can you imagine starting at a new school 20 times over? Ah, first we moved from Jersey, and then we lived in Brooklyn, as you know. We moved from Brooklyn to Chicago, and back to Brooklyn, and back to Chicago, and back to Brooklyn. My mother was having an affair, and he lived in Chicago. So she kept going back to Chicago. We all went. And then they'd break up, and we go back to Brooklyn. And then they'd make up again, and we go back to Chicago. 20 times. Can you imagine that? Oh, I had trouble learning to read. And I was scared. Every time I had to start a new school, I had to learn to read all over again. I was scared. And I was shy. I know it's hard to imagine, but I was shy. And I was slow. And they all thought I was retarded.
Compelling, right? I'm telling you. Grandma and Mom, Simka, who later became Sarah, her American name, and my mother, Evelyn, both loving, fierce women who happened to be great storytellers, and ultimately they taught me how to tell stories, though in this medium. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed their stories. I very much enjoyed sharing with you. Okay, let's turn off the camera. Shoot. Hey, Katie, could you turn off my camera from the booth? My remote isn't working.
That's because it's your phone, Mom?
Oh.
Oh, shit.